What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxer coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Jaron Boots Ennis in the news as he has just inked a deal with Matchroom. With the Zone Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, however you want to say it, man. Look, the man is signed with Matchroom, and I'm gonna be honest. You know what? That was actually a smart move for him. It was a lot of people thought that Jaron Boots Ennis was signed with PBC, but I kept telling people like, bro, he signed with Showtime. But the thing about it is, Jaron Ennis was barely getting fights, and I was also saying like as a possibility, it's a catch-22 because the bigger names are with the PBC, but you know it's like you'll barely get fights. But if he signs with Matchroom, which he did, I knew that he's at least gonna be getting more fights. And somebody, I can't remember who it was, but or what article it was, but I was reading, man, and they were exactly right. Like, in order to make a star, it's impossible for you to make a star in boxing and only fight once a year or once every 16 months. You gotta be consistent. And with him signing with Matchroom, I definitely know we'll be seeing him in the ring a lot more. Now, the only problem to that, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, now before I even get to my opinion, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys hear what's being said, and then I'll go ahead and state my opinion. So stay tuned. So shout out to Boxing News 24/7. It says Jaron Boots Ennis signs with Matchroom Boxing. It starts off saying, "Well, slap my knee and call me a fan. Eddie Hearn and Matchroom have just pulled off a move slicker than oiled up eel in a bucket of suds. Wow. They've got Jaron Boots Ennis in their corner, and oh boy, does that shake things up. Ennis with the eye-popping 31-0 record with 28 of those wins being by knockout. That'll make your grandma flinch. Is now the poster boy for what looks like the beginning of a beautiful fist-flying partnership. We last saw Boots, he was turning Roman Villa's lights out in a way that had fans in Atlantic City roaring. That is his 31st victory, making his record shinier than a new penny." Wow, they got bars on here, don't they? And let's not forget, this came after he bagged the interim title by schooling Karen Shakalabakabaka like he was giving out free lessons in how to hit and not get hit one-on-one. A lot of people criticize Jaron Boots Ennis for that fight, but I mean, it wasn't like a super exciting fight, but it wasn't because of Jaron Ennis. I thought like he won every single round. He just didn't get the knockout. It's hard to knock out somebody that doesn't want to get knocked out, right? But anyways, fast forward to November, and with Terrence Crawford out of the picture, Ennis found himself sitting pretty with the IBF World Welterweight crown on his head, but no interim about it. Now he's gearing up for a summer spectacle that got everyone's ears perked up. With Eddie Hearn at the wheel, you know it's going to be more than just a fight. It's going to be an event and folks talking for weeks. And Boots, that's the man's practically vibrating with excitement. The man's got dreams bigger than his punch, aiming for that sweet status of undisputed world champion. And with Matchroom and the Zone backing him, those dreams might just turn into reality faster than you can say knockout. I'm excited for this partnership with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and the Zone, said Ennis. I can't wait to continue making my mark and become undisputed world champion. I've been out of the ring for a year. Has it been a year? It's not been a year yet, but I guess it will be by the time he gets back in there. I cannot wait to get back and do what I do best, entertain the fans and put on the clinic. There are blockbuster fights on the horizon for me, and I'm ready to deliver them. Eddie Hearn can barely contain his glee. Signing Ennis was like hitting the jackpot without even putting the coin into the slot. He's talking big plans, big fights, and even bigger nights, all wrapped up in the promise of turning Boots into a name that rolls off the tongue as easy as Philly as it does in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Wow, what a sign, said Hearn. I've watched this young man for many years, and I've always believed he will become pound for pound great. And I have no doubt about it, he is already the greatest fighter in the division. To win the race to sign Jaron is a massive coup for the Matchroom and Boxing and the Zone. Holding the IBF title in one of boxing's glamorous divisions places Jaron front and center for some of the biggest fights out there in the sport, and we have plans to deliver them. Jaron has everything needed to become a household name in both the sport and in the sporting hotbed of his Philadelphia hometown, where we are committed to building him. Fight fans can get excited for his return in the summer as he looks to hunt down the biggest fights that will elevate him to the pound for pound, or elevate him, to the pound for pound list. All right, let's talk about it. All right, so I'm gonna be honest, man. I in the welterweight division, it's not stacked like it once was, like, right? You know, you don't have that many big names. Like, you know, at one point we had Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford, you know, Manny Pacquiao, all these guys, right? Stacked, huge division. But now, you know, it's not. For the first time in maybe, the first time was 2024? The first time in maybe 20 years, the welterweight division is not really as stacked as it once was. Now, it's not going to be like that for long because of how crammed 140 is. Eventually, within the years to come, welterweight will be stacked again, but it's not stacked like it once was. So, with that being said, I was looking at the fighters from Matchroom and even Golden Boy, because Golden Boy does business with DAZN as well. And, you know, it's not that likely that Jaron Ennis will be getting a big fight at welterweight. Just due to the fact that the small name, the few names that you do have at welterweight are not with DAZN. Like, you got Stanionis, who has the WBA, right? Who's with the PBC. I don't know. Let me see. If you guys know any other, like, you got Mario Barrios with the PBC. Shoot, you know, it's just not too many big names. You know, but I do feel like there are two big names at 154 that could actually make for a great fight with Jaron Ennis. Now, granted, without a title, it might not be as big, but it's still two big names at 154 that could happen and make great fights. One of them being Virgil Ortiz, who is signed with Golden Boy Promotion. And, you know, now, granted, I don't know if De La Hoya will be so keen to put Virgil Ortiz in there with Jaron Ennis. That's a very dangerous fight for Virgil Ortiz, but that still makes for a great fight. You know what I'm saying? A huge fight at that. And another fight that I would love to see, and I would actually think it would be smart to have this fight in the UK just due to the fact that this fighter is much more big in the UK than Jaron Ennis is in America, and that's a fight against Conor Benn. Conor Benn is the son of boxing legend Nigel Benn, who is in the UK or whatnot. If they make that fight in the UK, that's a humongous fight right there. And I definitely think Jaron Ennis will knock Conor Benn the freak out, but it's all good. So I think that makes for a humongous fight over there, and I also gets Jaron Ennis a good little a good UK following. You know, UK always gonna support their fighters. So, you know, I think those are two big fights. But the thing is, no matter what, at least we'll get to see him active, man. Like, and that's the most important thing, because boxing has really been irritating me with these fighters only fighting once every like 18 months and stuff like that. That's just, I mean, in the prime of their careers, that's not a good thing. Now, when you like 36, 37, that's cool, bro. But when you 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 30, you should be fighting at least 2 to 3 times a year. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to know that Jaron Ennis will be active, and you know, he has the skills to be a star. The man is a great switch hitter. He got power in both hands. He has knockout power. He has boxing ability. Anything you want in a fighter, you get out of Jaron Ennis, right? So how can you really hate him? You know, but I'm sure there'll be haters, you know, as we all have. But, you know, regardless, I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about this. Hopefully, I don't know if they're, you know, I'm sure that Matchroom has a plan. Maybe they want him to move up to 154, or maybe he stays and dominates 147 and tries to clear up that division. I don't know, because the PBC doesn't seem too keen to be working with anybody outside of their own stable, so that may be hard. And I know he was trying to get a Keith Thurman fight. With Keith Thurman ain't finna fight nobody. You know, the dude is injured and stays injured, so besides him being with the PBC as well, maybe if the PBC gets rid of Keith Thurman, maybe then, but I don't know, man. But hopefully Jaron Ennis can get a big fight, man, because he's more deserving of it. you know, like I said, Errol Spence being with the PBC, I just highly doubt that he just gets a fight with any of the PBC fighters. Unless if they're going out of the window and the PBC just like feels like, all right, whatever, we don't, you know, his career's on a downcline anyways. Not no big fights, I can tell you that much. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about Jaron signing with Matchroom. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you want to see him fight? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?